So let's start with the big referendum on equalization, sir. What is it exactly, and what are Albertans being asked to vote on?
It's a bit of a symbolic vote that actually starts a not symbolic process. Albertans are being asked to vote on a constitutional change that would remove equalization from the Constitution. But I think Albertans know that the entire idea behind this is that that is the opening position in a series of constitutional negotiations that we hope Alberta and the rest of Canada will have over the next several years.
And we know equalization has long been part of the political conversation in Alberta, but would you say that voters themselves are clear on what this referendum is about and the impact of their vote?
Well, I think there have been a few opponents to the equalization vote that have tried really hard to make it less clear. The actual question's a little complicated, and the opponents are trying to create an impression that this is a vote on the principle of equalization. Albertans know that equalization is a bad thing. It's opposed across the political spectrum. Even a clear majority of New Democratic voters think that equalization is unfair to Alberta. And I think most Albertans understand that voting yes on this referendum starts a process that will either lead to repeal or reform of equalization. I don't think any Albertan thinks that they're voting to make it go away and it'll go away tomorrow if there's a 51% vote to make it go away.
All right, sir. Now, considering that this equalization formula is a matter of federal jurisdiction, you're saying this provincial vote is more of a symbolic vote, but what would you say is the end goal of this referendum question?
Well, it's symbolic, and yet it opens the door to constitutional discussions. What will happen after this vote is if it passes, the legislature of Alberta will pass a motion requesting constitutional negotiations on this question. And that puts an obligation on the federal government and the other provinces to come together for constitutional discussions on this matter. One province can't change the Constitution by itself. It is an item inside the federal jurisdiction, but there are legal precedents that suggest that if a province votes strongly on a constitutional matter, the other provinces have an obligation to act on it. So this starts the ball rolling on constitutional discussions. And once constitutional discussions begin, who knows where they'll end up.
All right, Mr. Marciano, just about 2 minutes left here, but how do you expect this referendum to affect relations with the federal government and other provinces moving forward?
I think the federal government's going to try hard to ignore it for a while. I think other provinces are going to be kind of uncertain as to how to comment. But I also think that over the next 18 to 24 months, you're going to see provinces, especially the smaller provinces all over Canada, wanting to have bigger constitutional type discussions with the federal government. The provinces are all going to start running out of money. COVID and its impact on healthcare and its impact on seniors care is just this great big sucking vortex that's stealing everybody's money. And there's going to be an awful lot of attention on the part of provinces to doing something about it. And one of the ways to do something about it is to open up constitutional discussions.
All right, sir. Well, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. But jumping to another referendum question here, daylight savings time. Why is ending daylight savings time a referendum question in the first place, sir?
It's kind of a weird thing. It's been discussed a little bit in Alberta politics. The New Democrats have talked about maybe doing a referendum on it. Jason Kenney wanted to have more than one referendum on it. So now what we're facing is a vote on whether or not to stay with permanent summertime, permanent daylight time. And I honestly have no idea how that vote's going to go. Okay, if you're a morning person, you're against it. If you're an evening person, you're for it. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
All right, sir, just a quick 45 seconds left here, but 2 major cities are also going to be getting new mayors. So what were the major issues in Calgary and Edmonton this election?
In some ways, these were 2 elections without major issues. They both ended up sort of being elections about the personality of the 2 frontrunners in each city. And it's sort of are you going to be more conservative, fiscally conservative, or more socially progressive? Those are the 2 opponents in both of the cities. It's going to be hard to sort of figure out, but yeah, it's going to have a big impact. I mean, 2 new mayors, 2 major cities, all decided on the same night, going to change the future of Alberta in some ways.
Lots to look out for today, sir. Thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back after the break with a look at stories from across Canada, so stay tuned. Just a short break.